Maxwell, the Department of Justice releasing transcripts and audio recordings of its interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. She, of course, is the convicted co-conspirator of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Both Democrats and Republicans have called for the release of this interview. Let's bring in Washington reporter Hena Brandt. Hena, a lot of claims were made by Maxwell. The document was over 200 pages long. I want to start with what she said about President Trump's behavior during this interview.
Yeah, Hena, this was an hours-long interview, but Ghislaine Maxwell inside of it was very complimentary of President Trump. She described him as cordial and kind, and she repeatedly said she never saw Trump act inappropriately. So that's a major takeaway from this interview with Maxwell. Let's take a step back and talk about where this information comes from. It was all released by the Justice Department amid the mounting pressure on the Trump administration to be more transparent about this Epstein case. And so Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said they're making public 2 days worth of transcripts and audio from the interviews that he did with Ghislaine Maxwell last month. Now, this is separate from the Epstein files themselves, which have not yet been released, but Maxwell was given some limited immunity to talk to the Justice Department over the course of 2 days. The DOJ said they wanted her to be able to speak without fear of prosecution for anything except for giving a false statement. And during these interviews, Blanche did specifically ask her about President Trump. Maxwell told Blanche she recalled meeting Trump in the 1990s. She said she always liked Trump, and she had been to Mar-a-Lago several times. That, of course, is the president's famous Florida estate. Now, she also talked about Trump's relationship with Epstein, saying that the two were friendly in social settings and that Epstein also visited Mar-a-Lago. But Maxwell said she didn't think that Epstein and Trump were close friends. And this is key. She went on to say that she never saw President Trump acting inappropriately.
I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Maxwell, in these interviews, also said there is no client list. That's notable because that's been really central to these discussions. People have called for the release of some so-called client list, but that's something Maxwell says just doesn't exist. She also added she never saw any man doing something inappropriate with women and maintained her own innocence, despite the fact that we know she's serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking crimes, which she was convicted for. And importantly, she is seeking a pardon of that conviction from President Trump.
Yeah,
Hena?
Those are important points. She is a convicted sex offender and has been indicted on perjury charges twice. Maybe not the most credible witness. But Maxwell also shared her thoughts on the end of Jeffrey Epstein's life. That's getting a lot of attention this morning, Hena. What did she have to say about his death?
Yeah, getting a lot of attention because Maxwell told Blanche she does not believe Epstein died by suicide, saying that she thinks he would be an easy target in jail. That is a controversial statement, given that the Justice Department and FBI both affirmed that Epstein, from their assessments, did kill himself in their announcement last month. That's part of what stirred up all of the outrage from the public over this case, Hena.
Hena Brandt, live in our nation's capital this morning. Thank you, Hena.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.